Breaking news right now. You are taking a live look at the Fulton County Courthouse, surrounded by cameras and security, everyone bracing for potential indictments against former President Trump and his allies. Today, we have watched some of the biggest names in Georgia politics file in and out of the building. At least two say they were set to testify tomorrow, but they were called in early. And that includes independent journalist George Cheedy, a critical witness in investigation into Georgia's alternate electors, and former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, who we are told entered the grand jury room just hours ago. And breaking just into the newsroom, new video showing Mr. Duncan leaving the courthouse after testifying. He is one of several witnesses who did testify today. Tonight we have team coverage of everything that has happened at the courthouse over the past several hours and what still is to come. We begin with Doug Richards downtown with more on today's key witnesses. Doug?
Yeah, Jeff, for those of us who have spent a number of days trying to read the signals and the tea leaves from the courthouse about the grand jury proceedings, this was easily the biggest day so far. You talked about Jen Jordan. We saw the former Democratic state senator who said she sat for about 40 minutes with grand jurors recounting her December 2020 audience with Rudy Giuliani at a time when the president's lawyer was spinning falsehoods about the 2020 election before Georgia legislative panels. Gabe Sterling was also here. He left the building a few minutes ago, a top aide to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Together, Sterling and Raffensperger heard then President Trump beseech them in a phone call to find 11,780 Georgia votes to give Trump the lead over Joe Biden, who won the state in 2020.
You would want to have the grand jury be able to look him in the face and say, you know, sir, did you feel intimidated? And then have him be able to answer that question for them and explain his answer.
That was Clint Rucker. He was the top assistant Fulton County DA, and he worked 20 years alongside the current district attorney, Fani Willis. So there are indications, obviously, that the grand jury is still at work here. There is much more to do, though, in terms of the prosecutors presenting arguments to the grand jury about what ought to happen with respect to an indictment. There is a possibility it could all come to fruition tonight. It seems at this point more likely tomorrow. Live at the Fulton County Courthouse, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
While no official announcement has come down yet, you may have heard rumors about potential charges swirling after a document spread online late this afternoon. The Fulton County Clerk of Superior Magistrate Courts told us that that document was fictitious. 11 Alive Zach Merchant is in our studio right now to break it down, and we heard that President Trump's legal team not happy about any of this today.
No, very much unhappy about this, and I want to be clear right off the top here. So far, there has been no indictment made public, but as Jeff mentioned, a report earlier today has been causing big controversy around the court. Around noon, Reuters, a wire service, reported that a document was briefly posted to the court website showing former President Donald Trump facing a RICO charge, as well as multiple charges for making false statements and forgery. Now, in that statement, or rather in another statement, the clerk's office called that document, quote, fictitious. The statement goes on to say that documents that do not bear an official case number, a filing date, and the name of the clerk of courts are not official filings and should not be treated as such. It should be noted that what was shared online appears to match the formatting and wording of other Fulton County court records typically available online. As a part of the legal process, it's not unusual for the DA's office to work with the clerk to get all of the charging documents ready prior to an indictment. But in a statement sent less than a few hours ago, Mr. Trump's attorneys condemned this entire saga, arguing that it shows a lack of professionalism within the district attorney's office, saying a proposed indictment should only be in the hands of the DA's office. Jeff?
One of the headlines in all of this, I would think, as I read all of this, is What RICO charges mean in this state is more encompassing than other places around America.
You're right about that. It's a pretty broad, wide-ranging statute. And we should also note here that Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis has a history of bringing fairly high-profile RICO charges. Again, we don't know what may happen. We don't know what a grand jury may do or not do. But this, if anything, is an indication that we should keep watching. All
right, Zach, thanks a lot. We'll check in with you all through the night. We appreciate it. Also now we want to check out 11 Alive Joe Ripley. He is outside the courthouse right now where security remains tight until after an announcement is made. If that's going to happen tonight, we simply don't know at this point. Joe, what are you seeing from the last time that we talked to you, maybe about an hour ago? How does it look different now as we drift from afternoon into evening?
Obviously, Jeff, it is a little darker here outside the Fulton County Courthouse. You can see the sun starting to dip here, but still increased security presence that we're noticing out here. I have noticed more police patrol cars out here, some more armed individuals out here as well, though it was odd enough. Former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan actually just left the courthouse moments ago. He was not flanked by any law enforcement at all. But you can still see surrounding the perimeter here of the Fulton County Courthouse a lot of police presence. We've been monitoring the scene all day. We were on hand earlier this morning when protesters were speaking out against the new Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. Completely unrelated to this, they walked up to the Fulton County Courthouse, though, wanting to make their voices heard. They confronted deputies who tried to redirect them around the courthouse. And we all know security has been ramped up ahead of this potential criminal indictment dropping possibly tonight, tomorrow. Perhaps. Ultimately, the protesters were able to walk down the street past the courthouse. One protester we spoke with says they were just trying to exercise their right to free speech.
All they're doing is trying to score political points. And that's why we're out here to say, if you care about so-called democracy, you have to care about democracy no matter who is trying to exercise it. It can't be a game against the Republicans and the Democrats.
And we have seen a couple of protesters out here in favor of this election investigation being carried on here by the Fulton County DA. We do expect something to happen, hopefully an eventful night or day tomorrow. But as you can see, security not letting up anytime soon, Jeff.